All right. So I'm going to be doing my rogue build guide. It's based off of the chest, Slaughter from the Shadows. It increases your backstab damage to non-player controlled targets by 60%. Backstab already does 150% weapon damage plus 210. So this increases that to 210% weapon damage plus 210 and decreases the energy cost of backstab by 30, putting it at 30 energy. So then Cutthroat goes with Slaughter from the Shadows. Your ambush, backstab, and garrote abilities no longer require you to be behind your target, and backstab has a 15% chance to make your next ambush within 10 seconds not require you to be in stealth. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so for head, I like to use focus attacks. If you have the Shadow Flame Skull sword, with the changes to focus attacks, I think that's a better option. But I use focus attacks because I have Fell Striker, and that's you gain this tooltip's wrong. In game, you gain 2 energy every time you deal a melee or ranged critical strike. And then I use Crimson Tempest because it goes in with serrated blades, and when I get to the build, I use that. For the wrist, I use Carnage because it increases your damage dealt by 20% when your target is bleeding, or you're bleeding, your effects. For the waist, I like to use Shuriken Toss, especially in like large groups. Use Shuriken Toss, get the combo points, pop off a Crimson Tempest, proccing Carnage. Okay, so for the legs, this is where it gets kind of iffy. So in Venom, you need Deadly Poison. This build, I use Sebaceous Poison and hopefully Wild Strikes. So, using Envenom for solo play, or if your group doesn't have Wild Strikes. But also, I like to use like any of my extra energy into backstabbing, ambushing, and making sure my Rupture and Crimson Tempest is up. Master of Subtlety, I like to be running that for the 10% damage increase coming out of stealth. Dagger Specialization, Dagger Skill, it takes out the dodge, parry, and block. And I think +9 Dagger Skill makes it so that they're from behind, their dodges and blocks don't trigger. So it's kind of like giving you hit, but not giving you hit. And then Nature Specialization, chance to hit with nature spells increased by 6%. That's just for your poison hit chance. Focus attacks, you can go with 5 points into Malice for your 5% critical strike chance. Ruthlessness, 60% chance to add a combo point when you use a finisher. Murder, 2% damage against humanoids, giants, beasts, and dragonkin. Relentless Strikes, 20% chance per combo point to restore 25 energy. So at 5 combo points, you gain 25 energy. So, like I said, I like to use Sebaceous Poison, which is modified by improved exposed armor. Sebaceous itself It's 1700 armor reduction with improved exposed armor. I think it's 2550. So that's ignoring 2550 armor of your enemy. So lethality. So slaughter from the shadow, like I said, 60% on top of the 150% weapon damage. Critical strikes deal 200% damage for the criticals. So lethality increases that to 230%. So that's pretty good. If you're using the occult poison, then you can use the improved sinister strike, which improves poison knife. Poison knife benefits from all talents and effects that trigger from or modify sinister strike. Refunds 5 energy per application of deadly poison on the target. So it costs 25 energy. If you have 5 stacks of deadly poison or occult poison, you get refunded 5 energy because improved sinister strike reduces poison knife by 5 down to 20. I just like using improved gouge. What we're really after is improved backstab, which increases the critical strike chance of your backstab by 30%. And like I said, 210% times 200%, 230% is huge. So then another is precision. 5% chance to hit is huge, because with rogues, the more hit chance you have, the more chances at critical strikes, the more focused attacks procs, the more energy regen, the more chances you have to apply your poisons, the more your abilities don't miss. I think it's 9% chance for your abilities to not miss, and then 16% for your finishers not to miss. And then like the very unattainable is 27% hit chance, and then you won't miss with your white hits. But that's unobtainable. 14 to 17% hit is like awesome for rogues. And then crit chance. And then one way you can do it is going into either endurance or improve sprint to get 2 dagger specialization to get 5% crit chance with daggers. So that'll just increase your critical strike of your backstabs. So then you can go to Blade Fury. If you have the Shadow Flame Sword, you can go with the sword specialization and then get combat potency for more chances at that. And then the important thing is getting dagger specialization. The other really amazing thing is opportunity. Increases your backstab, garrote, or ambush abilities by 20% when standing behind your target. So that's 20% from opportunity, 20% from carnage, 60% from slaughter from the shadows, and then 150% weapon damage from backstab plus 210. So that's a lot of extra percents on your damage, on your backstabs. The other thing, if you go into dagger specialization, improve slice dice, just increases the duration, decreases the amount of times you have to upkeep it. But what I really like to do especially with Crimson Tempest and Rupture, is go into the subtlety tree for improved ambush and serrated blades. So I take camouflage just because I like to increase my stealth speed. But improved ambush increase the critical strike chance of your ambush ability by 45. Cutthroat, 15% chance to trigger ambush outside of stealth. So just more ambush crits is awesome. Then initiative, I like to take 2 points in that to get to serrated blades, but gives you a 50% chance to add an additional combo point to your target when using your ambush, garrote, or cheap shot. So 15% chance from backstabs to trigger ambush outside of stealth, 45% chance to crit with your ambush. It's good. And then serrated blades, I think at 60, it ignores 490% damage of, or 40%, 490 armor of your target. And that stacks with sebaceous poisons, 2550. So that's good. So now we have 2 combo points left. I usually put those improved slice dice just to keep the uptime more manageable. So the way I play this is like a garrote opener. If there's a group, shuriken toss into a Crimson Tempest just to keep carnage up, and then backstab until I have combo points for slice and dice, and then backstab till I get ambushes, and then use rupture, and then backstabs, ambushes to Crimson Tempest, and then I upkeep those 3 because, 30% attack speed means more focus attack procs. More bleeds means more carnage, 20% damage. And then backstab. I've had 5k backstab crits. So if you wanted to use Shadow Flame Sword, you go into sword specialization and then just keep opportunity and then move these combo points to get dagger specialization, blade fury, and sword specialization. But yeah, improved exposed armor and sebaceous poison is huge. I think it adds 100 to 150 DPS on your physical melee hunter classes, and for 10 other people, 100 damage or 100 DPS is 1,000 DPS for the raid. So sebaceous is awesome. Go ahead and play around with this, but this right here is probably a fun play style. Upkeeping slice dice, rupture, Crimson Tempest, and yeah, just have fun, and yeah, have fun.